So Chelsea 2, Arsenal 3, League Cup semi-final first leg. We got the victory, a lot closer than it probably should have been because let's be real, they were pathetic. We gifted them 2 goals. However, they did gift us 2 goals as well. Their goalkeeper is nicking an absolute living. Yeah. And I'll be honest with you, I like the way that we attacked them, even when we were 3-1, 3-2. We were still going for goals because we know they're crap. Yeah. And Mikel Arteta tonight, yeah, I'd say he got it right to a certain degree, but then he didn't. When I see the starting 11, I was fuming Kepa was in goal and Timber at left back. However, Kepa made some good saves. Yeah, I didn't think Timber was that great. I thought he was all right, but that Zestaval's rubbish anyway. But at the same time, Kepa, yeah, Tosin nearly scored, yeah, off of his flap. Our striker, Kenny, yeah, our striker, who knew? Yeah, he ain't got a first touch unless it's a tap-in goal. Yeah, cross the ball to him, his first touch should be a goal. Yeah, Saka was woeful. Yeah, I thought Declan, happy birthday, Declan. I thought he played all right. Yeah, the centre back, Saliba, is a better passer in midfield than our captain, by the way, better creator. Yeah. Overall, I thought Trossard was all right. It weren't the greatest of performances, but we don't need to be great to play that team. They are crap. Yeah. And the only negative really is the fact it ain't more than 1 goal lead. But Kenny Ken 1972 on Insta, you was at the game. Yeah, they are not beating us. We got 1 foot in the final. And to be honest, me, negative league gunner, we're in the final. We haven't lost at home all season. Nobody is coming to our ground and beating us, especially Chelsea. What did you make of that in the ground, Kenny? And what was the atmosphere saying?
Well, the atmosphere was absolutely electric. To be honest, they created a loads of atmosphere. They had like fire drill in terms of like the like I said the fire furnace, and they obviously had the liquidator, which between me and you, I like the liquidator, and I thought, yeah, this is a proper derby. But the thing is that I think the game was, in essence, the game was done when we got the first goal, because it wasn't because of the fact that when we got it, it's how easy it was, and it just made you think, you know what, if we upped the tempo, because they haven't got their best team out, and because they got the injuries, is a case of where it was men against boys, and it was the first goal. Benjamin White header, like I said, of a set piece, good finish. Then in the second half, Gyökeres gets his goal. I thought Gyökeres was good today. There were instances where I thought that Fofana and Chalobah had his measure, but he did work his nuts off. He got the goal. I have to admit, it was not an assist by Benjamin White. I was right on top of it. It was a fumble.
We were looking for you in the crowd, Kenny. We couldn't find you.
No, I was in the upper tier. I was in the shed upper tier. It was like a little. It was basically a little fumble from Sanchez, and Gyökeres put it in the back of the net. But you need that kind of thing. But in terms of the game itself, we made heavy weather of it. We made it a lot closer than it should have been, and it'll give Chelsea a bit of encouragement, because you have to assume that they're not going to be playing that team again. Even if Cole Palmer's 60% fit, he's playing. Even if Reece James is 8% fit, he's playing. And, they'll have Caicedo back as well. So there's a case where the kitchen sink is going to come our way. But the good thing about it is that because we've got that cushion, it's the onus on Chelsea. Yes, it'll frustrate some of our fans if we're conservative the way we play, and we're very try not to give anything away. But remember, they have to beat us. We don't have to beat them. But when you talk about performances, it was I say it, and I don't want to sound churlish, but we looked a lot better team attacking wise when Odegaard went off the pitch, and Marino coming. Who knew Marino had a bit of pass to him? Who knew Marino? Like I said, hits the target when he has shots. I mean, you just don't know. Even Zubimendi benefited from not having Odegaard on the pitch, and we've won the game, and it says a lot that I'm digging out Odegaard, and I'm probably going to dig out Saka. But the thing with Saka did some good things. Yeah, there was a good overlap for our second goal, but apart from that, it's the case we're winning games in spite of Saka. Now, I was saying that a couple of weeks last week is we're winning games in spite of Gyökeres, but the fact is, we got one foot in the final. We got a good chance of winning it. But if we get to the final, we play Man City. That's when Saka's got to turn up. It's a final. We're playing against a team that many think are favourites to the title, even though we're 6 points ahead. And many think that they're the best team in the country, even though on paper it's probably us the best team. But in these sort of 50-50 games, Saka's got to turn up to the party. We didn't need him today. But one thing I will say, can we please stop this theatre, mate, when you go down? We know you're all right. We know you're going to get up and play. Please. Sometimes you cry wolf too much, man. Yes, you get tackled. Yes, you get a knock. But I've seen other players from other clubs get the sort of knocks you get. They don't go down and start getting the trainer on. Or the referee goes, are you all right, mate? Come on, mate. Do better, mate. It's become a bit annoying. And there's quite a few people around me who were quite annoyed. And they weren't particularly pleased with Odegaard. Trossard was all right today. He wasn't one of his better games, but it was a case where he did work hard off the ball, and he did help out. He did assist our good friend Timber with Esteval. Esteval, he's one of those players where you're not going to see the best of Esteval. You're not going to see the best
He's
of
trash.
Esteval.
I don't care what they say. Better than Lamine Yamal. Yeah, all right, good one.
No. But the thing with Esteval is that you look at a lot of our Brazilian friends. You've got to remember the standard of football in Brazil, the standard of player that is now getting the Brazil side. And you've got to remember there isn't players like they haven't got Kaká. They haven't got players like Nizaro de Lima. They haven't got Ronaldinho. They haven't got Cafu. They haven't got Roberto Carlos. Or Tafarel. This is the Brazil side. This is very much a very big Brazil side. So he'll get in and he look like $1 million. Yes, he worked hard here and there, and yes, he had some good shots, some goals, some good saves by Kepa. However, he's raw, but you would think couple of years' time he's got you expect him to do a lot better than that. But let's just talk more about Arsenal. Let's talk about it defensively. Saliba, 6s and 7s. He was on the ball, he was fantastic. He was probably better on the ball than Odegaard. But defensively, still a bit shaky. He needed his mate Gabriel to help him out. Right back, Benjamin White, good going forward. He was competent enough at right back. Is he better than Timber? No way. Left back, Timber's not a left back, but he did a very competent job. And his competent job, on Esteval. But it was one of the cases that's the standards that Milos Suarez-Kelly's got to atone to. Because you look at Timber when he plays at left back. Timber is probably the same height as Milos Suarez-Kelly. But what Timber does is when the ball's in the air, Timber will attack the ball with his head. He'll head the ball. Milos Suarez-Kelly doesn't like heading the ball. And that's his downfall because he lets the ball bounce and he thinks he can use his athleticism like he was able to do last season.
A little bit like Saliba.
Yeah, that's it. Saliba don't like hitting the ball, but he would. But the fact is, Saliba's got his mate alongside him.
Yeah.
When you're at left back and you let the ball bounce, it's basically you against your opponent. As soon as your opponent sees that ball bounce, he's gonna get his like I said, he's going to third gear, and then you're on your heels. So it was no surprise when it played. There was a lot of noises that he wasn't going to play. That we're going to play Tim because Benjamin White's now back to full fitness. But again, if I was Miles Lewis-Skinner, I'd be thinking to myself, you've got to do better there, mate.
What was the atmosphere like in the crowd? Obviously, you go to Stamford. I've been to Stamford Bridge. I've not been there for a cup game, especially a semi-final. Obviously, the atmosphere, the Chelsea, the fireworks, the flares, all that. But what was it like in the away end? Obviously, with the Arsenal fans.
You know what? It was buzzing when we got the goals, and it was buzzing to feel winning. But it's always with Arsenal fans, regardless of if you're a pro Arteta or not, or like I said, anti-Arteta. I spoke to a few fans, and we said, that we definitely got 1 foot in the final. But the situation is that a lot of us don't believe it. I was having conversations after the match, and they were thinking of reasons where it could go wrong. We were talking about the fact that the second leg, that Chelsea will have their big boys, and it's highly likely that they'll throw the kitchen sink at us. So the thing with Arsenal, we then believe it's going to happen. We'll believe it when we see it. And I'll tell you one thing, it's nothing to do with Mick Arteta. It's nothing to do with being Arteta in, Arteta out. It's that we've been burnt so many times when it comes to trophies.
Even in Wenger era.
Is that, for instance, even when we played Hull, Hull in the final of the 2014 FA Cup. We had to see it to believe. We didn't believe it. We always thought something would go wrong. And let's face it, you know, like I said, it nearly did. We were 2-0 down. And the same
Big up Kieran Gibbs. Without Kieran Gibbs clearing that off the line, mate, we don't win that.
Yeah, but it was when I went to the final in 2011 in the League Cup when we played Birmingham. We didn't believe we would win it because we were so started at success. So Arsenal fans, there is a lot of trepidation. We know what we're capable of. We know what we can do. But until we win this trophy and get to a final, we're only going to start to believe because there's always a bit of a doubt. If it was 3-1, we'll all be booking our tickets. Well, hopefully for the 22nd of May, and thinking, right, which pub are we going to go? 23rd of March. Which pub are we going to go to? Is it going to be the Torch? Is it going to be a Torch? Is it going to be like the Green Mile? Green Man. You know what I mean? So those are the conversations we all had at 3-1. But at 3-2, there's a lot of
Marino has scored that chance to make it 4-1. It's curtains, isn't it?
Well,
what a save though! That goalkeeper's trash, Kenny. Yeah, he caught life. He didn't even know that hit him.
Yeah, the thing with the goalkeeper is that he's the best they got until they actually get a proper number one, like a number one in the sort of the guise of Petr Cech at his prime, and obviously Courtois at his prime. Then Chelsea are never gonna be that team that's gonna challenge for the league on a regular basis. I think that's the thing. Get number one, get a defender like in a John Terry mould, and then who knows? But the thing with Clear Lake is that they have to have ambition to win things. Their fans in the stadium were singing Roman Abramovich's name.
Wow.
Apart from trying to wind us up by saying we'll never sing that, you never sing that, Champions League, you never sing that, and obviously you win fuck all. They were singing Roman Abramovich's name to the top of their lungs, especially like when the goals are going in. So they're very, very, very much anti-Clear Lake.
They're on the edge. They're on the edge.
They're on the edge. They're on the edge of some sort of revolt, sort of Chelsea style. This ownership is very highly unpopular with their fans.
No, on that bombshell, Kenny, get them safely. Sorry it took so long, mate. Yeah,
don't worry about
it. I'm glad you've seen a win. Yeah, and hopefully, fingers crossed, you'll be going to Wembley on the 22nd of March, mate.
It's last time we went was obviously 8 years ago. Couldn't go in 2020 for obvious reasons because the whole country is locked down. I know you call it the scamdemic. I think it was. I've got a similar feeling because I think about all the things we missed out on a personal level and go to Wembley. Was it so unnecessary? 5 years down the line, we're all hugging and kissing each other. But we were told 5 years ago that we would die if we did that. Times change, eh?
Yeah, listen, get them safe. I'll share your I shared the first one. Kenny Ken 1972 on Insta. Yeah, and we will be there at the weekend, Nottingham Forest away, and then we've got Inter Milan away as well. Obviously, Kenny, appreciate you always, man. I'm glad you've seen another win. It's always nice to beat that lot, isn't it? Very nice.
Well, it's especially at their ground. It's more pleasurable to beat them at their ground because it's a long way home. I've left that ground when they've won, and their fans just relentless with the teasing and abuse. So it's got to beat them.
Nah, get them safely, mate. Listen, I always appreciate you, mate. Take care. Love.
Take care, love.